You're listening to The Bon Marie Show. It's 8 in the evening. Tune in every night at 8 to listen to The Bon Marie Show on Irish News Radio or itv.ie. And you can contact anything that you've heard or if anything you'd like to discuss at news@irishnews.net. To The Bon Marie Show. Today is Thursday, so we'll be talking about the EU and our government. And the disastrous government. Like, reading some of the reports here has made me sick with worry. Such a disaster of a government. Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael. Absolutely disastrous. Fianna Fáil holding Fine Gael in and leaving them in to destroy this country for the EU. It is very, very worrying and scary times. I will read a few things out here that's going on in the news. There is just no way for us. We are being destroyed and there isn't a turning back for us. It is extremely scary. The government is full throttle into destroying Ireland and the Irish in every single way. There will be no Ireland and there will be no Irish. There will be no such thing as native Irish. It will be what they like to call a diverse country, which is basically non-Irish are welcome in Ireland. And through his actions over the last few months has shown he has no respect or no love for the Irish. The Minister of Death, who's brought in abortion for babies, is trying to rush this in as quickly as possible, just in case there is a referendum. And he's going to make as many sick babies as possible to be given the death sentence. Previously, he'd said it was 12 weeks. It's far from 12 weeks. He has it up to birth if the mother is unstable or for mental health issues, which is absolutely ridiculous. And if the baby, they were saying that the doctor could be sued if the baby dies after, but there's a lot of times doctors make mistakes. I mean, sometimes they could, they don't know. It's very hard. It's like you don't have a window in there. They're just trying to, from the scan, to see what's going on. There's a lot of things that sometimes they can predict and say, okay, that the baby will die within whatever amount, or it has this, and sometimes they're completely wrong, and those babies go on to live very healthy and very normal lives. What happens when that happens? What happens? And the babies who are perfectly healthy, are born perfectly healthy, are murdered because the woman was told, some sort of abnormalities in the fetus. It's really, really scary. This whole bill, they first, were trying to, Tobin from Sinn Fein, when he was let go from Sinn Fein, was saying that, they wanted some sort of protection for the babies, as in, gender, race, and disabilities for Down syndrome. And they're very difficult things anyway, to be honest. There's no way you could cover that. Gender, number one, that is going to happen. If you have an Islamic families, they will. There's a lot of cultures, particularly the Islamic, will be murdering the female child. And that is part of the reasons why I believe the government wants the abortion in, to allow these Muslims, because they know that this is the part of the thing that they will, because in the UK they are something like 5 times more likely. They overrepresent. The fetuses, females, overrepresent from the what they call the Asian community. So there's no way. And as for Down syndrome, there's no way you can stop that. In every country in Europe that is brought in abortion, Down syndrome has disappeared. And that is not a coincidence. They know that also. They don't want to pay for Down syndrome. And also don't want to pay for unmarried mothers. Like, and this is all part of making Europe one country. So we all have the same view. This is Nazi mentality. I mean, I really do feel that we're living in the time of the Nazis. It's absolutely disgraceful in every aspect. This is just one aspect. And I think, you know, we need to think about maybe getting some pro-life doctors and getting the baby out alive and putting it in an incubator. Babies can survive at 20 weeks, 22 weeks. It has really good chances of living. And getting an incubator, like, the mother doesn't have to know that the baby lived. What difference does it make? The baby has to come out anyway. What if we try and get some way of trying to save these babies from the death? I don't know how, but it does feel like, you know, saving the children from Nazis, Germany. And that's how it feels like. It's so disgusting, horrible, like the thoughts that, you know, that this will be a normal practice and it will become like a contraceptive. The government is full of crap. Like, there are 12 weeks, they're talking about gender. You need like 20 weeks to know a gender, and about that to know if the child has Down syndrome. It's insane, or race, as if the things, it was a stupid kind of thing, but, you know, but they're not even saying that. They're saying, no, we're not, that's not necessary to discriminate. They've even tried to do this in the UK because of the numbers were so high with what they call the Asian community, which is Islamic community, Muslim women killing baby girls. The numbers were so high in the UK, they tried to stop this and have brought in law. Now, it's very hard and practically impossible. Like, you know, it's very hard to prove that, but the numbers were so high that they did try, but they went on to say that they were going to try and stop telling the gender of the baby to stop this practice happening, gender selection. But there was a big argument in the UK to say if they did that, then it would lead on to more late abortions. So they decided that they wouldn't do it, but it's still against the law to have gender selection now. It's impossible to know. It's not like anybody's going to go in and tell you the truth. I'm from an Islamic background. Yes, women have no value, so there's no point having this child. I want this one murdered and try again for a boy because my husband will beat the crap out of me. I'm one of 4 wives and I have to compete with the other wives. The other wives seem to be having boys. Like, they're not going to tell you the truth. Like, otherwise my life will be in danger if I have this female. So, you know, instead of getting bad beating, half to death, I might as well abort it. Like, they're not going to tell you. So you might as well, like, as you keep doing, as the leftists keep doing, putting their heads into the sand. They don't want to know the truth about Islam. They don't want to know the truth about abortions. They don't want to know why these women in Muslim communities are killing their little girls. They don't want to know. Because they have to face the truth about Islam. That the husband who kicks the crap out of them. They go, oh, what about whatever, and this happens. It's just, they don't want to know. They'd rather not face the truth about that and the death of abortions. It's horrific. And of course, there will be no pain relief given to these babies. Now, this is just part of the sickness of us having to fit in with the EU. This diversity that we're not good enough or right enough for this EU. Full-scale dismantling of Ireland. The rent boy for the EU will not stop flooding us until we are outnumbered. We have been absolutely been flooded. Like, their homes are being given away. They're taking Irish people out of their homes and they're putting in Muslim refugees or African refugees. There was an African wanking on a bus stop in North Dublin. Like, in full view. This is the type of scum that are coming in. They're not being vetted. The majority of them don't work or want to work. They want to take easy money. It is absolutely disgusting. It's a very dangerous mentality for the Irish females, but the government doesn't care. Absolutely, because he doesn't care about the Irish. Houses in Wexford taken off the Irish and given to non-Irish. The disability and pension allowance didn't go out today, so they were left out. Now, you can guarantee that the Muslims and the refugees, so-called refugees, got their money, but the pensioners and disabilities were left in lines with their shopping bills with no money. Absolutely shocking stuff. There was a 30-year-old man in secondary schools in the UK. He got in, not the first one that's happened in the UK. These asylum seekers are making up their ages, and they're not being followed through. They're finding out, it's only afterwards that they find out in Finsbury that they were actually much older. In Berlin, they've called for sexual education for these so-called refugees. Sexual education. Now, it's not the first time that they've come out with this great idea of trying to teach them how to treat women. You don't get this, people. You can't just take them out of their country and land them into another culture and expect that, oh wow, you know, their attitude towards women is going to change. All their culture, all their teaching, all their background will disappear, and magically they will become German. This is the most dumb thing. And the reason why they call for this sexual education, again, a girl gets gang raped, drugged in a nightclub, dragged into the bushes. They say up to 15 men raped her in Berlin. So they want to teach them how to treat women. Now, this is not, like, he goes back in to the nightclub after he violently rapes the girl. Now, he drugs her, finally rapes her, leaves her in a bush, half dead, and then goes and gets all his friends to say that there was a woman out there. Now, the reason he's doing this and his friends are doing this is not that they're mad, horny. It's not that they're dying for sex. It's that they are absolutely violently angry towards women, that she had her own life, that she was able to go into a nightclub, and to teach her a lesson that she is not free, she's not equal to a man, that she has no right to be in a nightclub, or she's no right to live her life. She should be covered and living like a Muslim woman. And this is taught in the Quran. That if she's not covered, then, you know, it's either cover up or you get raped. And it is teaching that this is how that they should be. And this is where it comes from. No matter of sitting down teaching them how to treat women, that is not going to change their mind, because their Islamic teaching is more to them than all your laws or any of your bullshit are you sitting down trying to tell them. So 15 of them went out to rape this girl. She was 15 years of age. No, she's 18, sorry. It's 15 men who raped her. Back in 2016, Germany tried to do it again, to teach migrants, again after a massive amount of gang raping, how to treat men, how to treat women. It's not going to work. It doesn't. You can't just dump them out and expect them to have different values or different thoughts. And of course the rest of Europe who've had massive amount of gang rapes have tried to do this. Even in the UK, where the generations have maybe been there 2 or 3 generations, there's still massive amount, over 1 million, some people say up to 2 million children gang raped by mainly 99% Muslim males. That's 2 or 3 generations down the line. Not that they've got off. This doesn't change because Islam doesn't change. Even when they're out of the country 2 or 3 generations, they still have the same attitude. Islam doesn't change. The country changes around them. They turn the country into an Islamic country like they have in the UK and they have in Afghanistan, Lebanon, Iran, Iraq, Indonesia, any country. Islam goes in, it takes over. It doesn't evolve. This magic thing that the liberal bloody idiots are expecting to happen, it doesn't happen. It turns into an Islamic country. And that is what's happening in the West and in Europe. And you only have to look at our neighbours to see how well integration in Islamic communities has worked. Not at all. It just gets more extreme and more further. And they have been there for a while. In the UK, one of the victims of these gang rapes were raped from the time they were 11 to 15. Destroyed. Absolutely, they're destroyed. There were 16 rapists in Huddersfield in the UK. Another gang raping, which is just one after another now in the UK coming out. And there's nothing being done. Now we go back to our country. Lisdon Varnon. People told the government by 95% they didn't want the migrants in their town. The government moved them in anyway, regardless of how the people felt. Absolutely disgusting. They don't care. Now there's a secret arrangement made on Rudsney for an open refugee centre for Roscommon and Galway. The Shannon Key Hotel, the Shannon Key West Hotel, village in Rosney, 8 miles from Ballinadreen, where another refugee centre. Nobody's been told, even the local deputy not even told. It's been all covered up. It's shocking, people. We've been replaced. It is a genocide. As I said, I reading the papers, I cannot believe how completely, and they're written so in a way that, sugarcoat it. But you can still even read through that. We are being replaced. It is a genocide. And as I said before, at least during the famine you knew who your enemy is. It is absolutely insane that they're not waking up and fighting back. No more refugees. Stop it. Put the Irish into their homes. Look after the Irish. It is absolute madness what's happening. We need, and the only hope we have in Ireland, because we're such a treacherous government, is that the EU falls apart. Because there is no way we're getting out. We will become an Islamic hellhole. We will become worse than the United Kingdom. There will be gang rapes on our children. They're probably happening as we speak today. We will be a minority in a very short time, and where our lives will be in danger, in extreme danger. They are bringing them in from North Africa, which are mainly Islamic countries, and they are bringing them in from other Islamic countries. We will be a minority and a very much dangerous species. We will be hunted down, especially as females. This is the reality, because in the UK they had a bigger population. It's taken longer for them to destroy, but even still they went after their children and gang raped them. And the English are still trying to cover up and hide it. I'm not quite sure what to do with this massive, because it's 2 or 3 generations down the line and they can't really get rid of them. Unlike a lot of Europe, luckily enough, that they've worked it out, like Italy, and have decided to send them back on their boats. England doesn't have that choice. They have 2 or 3 generations stuck there. There's not a lot they can do. And that is the situation we're going to be in, and our government is full steam about destroying us and our heritage. Thank you very much for listening to these scary, scary times on the Bon Mee Show, itv.ie, Irish News Radio. Thank you very much.
Someone is stampeding the white European peoples into self-destruction. Who is it? And why are they doing this? Somebody wants to stampede whites into racial mixing and racial annihilation. Why do they want to do that? Why do they want white people to race mix and immediately lose what nature has taken eons to create? This never happened before. Their parents and grandparents didn't do this. It wasn't their way before.
You are listening to Irish News Radio at irishnews.net. Email news@irishnews.net.